Right, there we are. We are officially on. Ross Clarke-Jones, welcome to the Luke Farr Show, a show to motivate, educate, and inspire our next generation of leaders. Thank you, Conserve, for coming on the show, mate.
You're welcome, and thanks very much for having me, Luke. I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, I'm super frosted as well. We're going to certainly enjoy this. So we'll get stuck in. Usually, Ross, I read out a bit of a bio with my guests, but I'm going to sort of flip the script really and just put that back to you, and especially for people that aren't in the surfing community. I mean, I've known you since I was 7 years old and been following you since then, and I'm 37 now, so the people out there can do the maths on that. But if you were to introduce yourself to people that
No,
aren't for people that
I'd rather you introduce me. It's like I hate talking myself up. I
aren't.
mean, it's really weird when I left school, when I was 18, and I had I've been around the world already. Like I did the one year of the tour. I've been to Brazil and Europe and Hawaii, and then I saw an old school a girlfriend and her mother, and she goes, "Oh, what have you been up to?" And she asked me. I said, "Well, I've just come back from Brazil and Hawaii," and then she goes, "Oh, how's the bragging?" I'm going, "Really? I'm just telling you what I've been doing, and you're telling me." So I've been always conscious of that since I was 18. Just just been trying to be humble. And at Central Coast, when I grew up, it's one of those tall poppy things. If you even spoke out of line, you'd get cut down. So you can introduce me.
Well, mate, in saying that, look, I'd like to firstly find that woman because she's obviously scarred you and created a lot of trauma for you when it comes to things like this. But I guess, like, quite simply, guys, for the audience out there, look, you are, literally one of the most prominent big wave surfers of all time out there.
I
Growing.
couldn't have said that.
You've won the Eddie. It did take you 7 years, but anyway, we don't need to say how long it took. But I guess no, for people, look, I guess you've got some notoriety and fame. But I guess tracking back, Ross, I mean, you originally came from Terrigal on the Sunny Coast, New South Wales. Enjoyed surfing breaks like Terrigal Haven, etc., which is a big point break that does produce fairly significant size waves of 300 meters plus. But I guess first things first, I like to do this with all guests. I think it's very important though to sort of paint the story. But let's track back to childhood a little bit. I mean, I've read there that your dad used to chuck you in the car, drive you down to Mossman Bars, and just throw you in the water. I mean,
Yeah,
how do you think that experience kind of transpired into you surfing the biggest waves in the world?
I mean that definitely was a big influence on me from my with my parent. I mean, my dad mainly. He used to. I mean, like you said, he could grab me out of bed literally and go down to Balmoral bars in his arms, and I would wake up in the water, which was like it's a shock to the system. But
Yeah.
and then I like to do that always. Like I go. I mean, I just had an ice bath. I mean, it's just a esky really. I just jumped in the pool. It's just in the I have some water overnight that's left in Phillip Island, which it's the same thing really. And I remember as far as adventure goes, my father took me up to this headland in Manly, then see this boat. And there was a big ship leaving the harbour, and he goes, "Do you want to get on that? We can, if we rush to the city from Manly, we can make it. Let's go and pack, and we'll make it." I'm like, "Fuck, this is so fucking exciting! I'm doing this." He goes, "You pack your bag." I reckon I was about 6 years old. I packed like 20 pairs of socks. It's so weird, and that's all I had for the whole trip, socks. And then I don't know, and we rushed to. You drove really quickly to the city, and the gangway was leading up, and the guy and my father goes, "Beggs, come on, stop. We can make this, please. We're here." And he just left the car on the dock and the guy came and we got on this ship. So that was how I've led my life the whole 45 years of it, of adventuring, you know.
That's funny, Ross. I mean, a common gift around Christmas time here in New Zealand, mate, amongst family members is a pack of socks. I mean, like you said, you used to pack 16 of those things into your luggage before anything else.
Yeah.
Like, was that simply 16 Christmas gifts chucked into a bag, or do you just enjoy a good pair of socks?
I just don't know. I really don't know. I was so, I don't know. I'd never packed a bag before, and I thought socks, and oh, that's how you pack a bag. I've never packed a bag. Didn't think about anything else but socks. It was weird,
Oh,
bit
it's
weird.
classic. Yeah, you can't wear those in the ocean, mate. Hey,
No
you.
foot, no foot fetish here or anything, but it's,
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Thailand soon when you went with your teacher. Yeah, we'll touch on that in a little bit. We
yeah,
won't dive straight into that
we don't
just yet.
touch on that.
I'll let you have your cup of tea first. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about school, though. I mean, you've mentioned there you got away with murder at school, and you also mentioned that you didn't want to leave school without experiencing the cane. Like, does your brain just gravitate towards pain as opposed to trying to run away from it?
No, I just like God. I wasn't a bad kid, but I'd got away with. It's like a sneaky kid that got away with, pushing guys off chairs and stuff, and they get in trouble. And I'm going, this is. I felt guilty after I repeated year 11 as well, and I was like, okay, this is not happening. I've never got the cane, never got in trouble, and I was like, I got to own up. Like, give me the cane, and it was fucking hurt. I was like, Jesus, I'm glad I never got it that many times. I deserved it. Six of the best, I mean, I was six of the best. And that was, that wasn't, no good for the hand.
Does it hurt more than a wipeout at Nazaré?
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, I did actually. I remembered that caning, but I don't remember the wipeout so much.
You like you've also talked about how like when you're growing up, like the older boys and the charges that you were sort of surfing with, they sort of weren't taking on, the bigger waves and sort of you were. Like
Yeah,
amongst all of that growing up, but yeah, you obviously evidently just had an absolute appetite for massive what like so just do big waves just must not scare you at all, hey?
no, I just really enjoyed the riding big waves. It was just like it could never get big enough. Um, I had this excitement from big waves that the other guys, my older friends that used to take me surfing everywhere, they didn't have that sort of genetic makeup, I guess. Um, and unless it was my brother was the only one that he was mad. I mean, people called me mad. He was like another level of madness. Um, they call him, Captain Good Vibes, the pig of steel. He used to chat, and he was my biggest influence with it, whether it was driving or, um, he was he was reckless, but he had skill with driving and surfing, and yeah, he was the one I looked up to that opposed to the other guys that sort of just pull back and you see the fear in their eyes. Um, that I keep kind of I fed off, which it's like one of a zombie that feeds off the people shaking or scary. I don't know. I'm not a zombie, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
good analogy there.
yeah, yeah, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, did
really
you
fed off that.
can you? Oh, sorry, you go.
No, just the fear in other people's eyes. I guess, like, I've never been a fighter that you can see when people are scared. Um, and I fed off that, not for fighting, but just for giving me more confidence, I guess.
Yeah, I was just going to talk that a little bit about that. I mean, so you can obviously recall your first ever massive wipeout, like being held under, out of breath, trying to pop up, then it just dragging you back down. But like, I mean, anyone that, I mean, I've gone through that, but not to the level obviously that you've gone to. But like, how do because I try look at someone's sort of human brain and go, you've just had like a near-death experience, and then you pop up and go, look, I can't wait to get back out there and do it again. Like
Yeah,
that to me is absolutely mentally insane. But it's sort of like, yeah, is it that is it
that's
that is it that competition in your brain that you go, you know what, I think I can actually push further and harder and I,
it is actually. It feels like those wipeouts I've taken that are very like brutal and the most violent wipeouts through Jaws or Nazaré or even Pedra Branca in Tasmania. I mean, they're some of the most brutal wipeouts I've experienced. And in Waimea, like I didn't get wiped out in Waimea till like I don't know 10 years. I had a first 10 years I didn't have a wipeout really like a proper one, and I was with Tom Carroll. We were both like, yeah, we're like, yeah, let's do it. It was a west swell, and we were it was kind of heading back into the to the left, and Tom and I Tom dropped in on me, and we both fell out of the lip and we both got tangled in each other and got really pressed. I hit the rocks. I was hitting a boulder down really down deep.
what
And
did
I'm
that
going
be one of your worst wipeouts?
at Waimea for sure. That was my worst wipeout at Waimea.
Yeah.
And and I thought, oh God, I sort of was never not scared of it, but I was like, wow, I respected it more. I was like, wow, this place does like a punch, you know.
Yeah.
And then see, okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I like the humility that you're like this place is yeah pretty decent.
this is yeah. So the one with me and Tom, we both popped up like looking at each other, going, "Oh Jesus, that was nasty." You know, I've never experienced a wipeout like that. But in saying that, experiencing these wipeouts gives you more confidence to take on another one. Like, if that didn't kill me, what's going to kill me? And I never think I'm going to get. I never think I'm going to get hurt. I never think I'm going to die. That's for sure. And I'm like, this is fun. I'm trying to enjoy it.
Mm.
Um, it's not a nice thing when you're confronted by a 60-foot wall of water. But to tell you the truth, when I went to the last Eddie, the 2023 one, not this last recent one, and I'd had an injury from Survivor for a couple of years, and I hadn't surfed, and I really didn't know if I could do it again.
Mm.
My confidence had been, confidence level was gone,
Mm.
and I just started surfing again. But I hadn't surfed any big waves. But this is when I was confronted. I had the the 60-foot wall of water. I took off on it. It was the first wave, and it was a good set. And I'm going, wow, I've got that out of the way. That's good. I can ride it, but how can I take it on the head? So I got like 10 of them on the head.
Mm.
That's what I was more excited about. I'm going, wow, I can take that on the head, on back.
Yeah.
This that's real confidence restored, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah.
People saying, "Oh, you're so good, you're so good." That's not confidence.
Yeah.
It's an artificial confidence. You
Mm.
think you're good because you think you fucking everyone's telling you that.
Mm.
But when you get experience something like that, that's real confidence.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it does make sense. Yeah, a more of a actual lived experience confidence versus the facade of confidence. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Hey, run us through like what has been your biggest wipeout and how did that shake you? I mean, was it a near death, and then like how long were you held down for?
Like that's the thing. The worst wipeout I had was on Survivor. It's on the TV show.
Come on, you got to be joking me. I mean, I saw that and I look at that compared to Jaws or Nazaré and I go, really? Is that your
yeah,
worst?
it's it's funny that because I mean, no, like I broke my back in backdoor, I nearly broke I've snapped my neck in Pedra Branca in Tasmania. That was one of the worst wipeouts. But I think it was the mental health aspect after the injuries that
Mm.
wasn't so bad. Like, after Survivor, after that injury, broke my ankle, the syndesmosis, I couldn't surf. I just, and then uh, I couldn't tell anyone about it. It was just this. It was the worst wipeout I've had, I guess, because it's not from not surfing. And that people are going, oh, you've had worse wipeouts.
Mm.
Experiencing that, I couldn't surf. I lost responses. It's just that it's more than mine. It's more than, that worst wipeout. It's the longevity of the after
Trickle on effect. Yeah, I understand.
the aftermath,
Yeah.
Um, But I had to pick a very worst wipeout, was probably that one. Like if surfing wise, would be the one in Pedra Branca, when we first surfed it. I'm trying to. We were towing, and Tom Carroll just wasn't getting me the waves. I'm
Mm.
getting him all these good waves, and he was happy and satisfied. I'm going, you prick, I'm done. He goes, I'm done. I'm going, what do you mean? So, but the director of the Storm Surfers, Justin McMillan, he goes, I'll get you one. And he got me like four in a row. That really big one that it sort of just I went to pull in, and then it sort of clamped. So I went to straighten out, but then it sort of opened up again and went over me like a lip. I've never experienced a wave like that. And I didn't know what to do. So I jumped back.
Oh,
Yeah, I jumped back because I was going to break my legs, it felt like.
sheesh.
Um, so I might have avoided like broken legs, but which a guy, I think one of the Homercross guys broke his leg.
Is that Ross? Is that the better thing to do in that situation? Is to try jump back?
Well, that was my natural yeah, my natural defense system, I guess. Jump back. I mean, like I couldn't go any faster. Trying to avoid you can outrun these things, but this was like a different perspective on the wave. So yeah, I jumped back, and
Sheesh.
maybe it would have been worse or better. I don't know, but I felt like my neck and my head did a 360. I felt this crack. It was like it was a full chiropractor, like a giant chiropractor man going whack.
Oof.
And I was spun out. My nose and ears were bleeding, and it was a really extreme moment. And then I remember Justin McMillan coming to get me, to rescue me, looking at me. And he was this look of horror in his face. He's like he thought he'd killed me because my eyes are like and bleeding everywhere, and I'm going, give me another one.
Yeah, yeah.
And as nah, you're going in, dude. You don't look good. And so I had neck surgery the following day. Um, I was out for a couple of months, but still, I kept my sponsors and all that stuff. It was, it's injuries are, um, one thing, but to loss of all your livelihood is another.
Yeah, 100%. And I wouldn't mind touching on that sort of relationship between you and your tow partner. I mean, your tow partner, Tony Ray, you guys have taken on some of the biggest waves, but like I mean, she's just words that come to mind. I mean, just from sort of me being on the ground or being in business. I mean, like teamwork, communication, like trust must have to be like bigger. Like you're putting each other's lives at risk, so trust is in there. But like, what do you think is the difference between like a good tow partner, but then a bloody great tow partner? Like, what do you think are the contributing factors to a
Well,
good?
I mean, there's great tow partners, there's shit tow partners.
Yeah.
Not mentioning you, Tom, but
let's start with the ship. Yeah, what makes them
Tom's the
shit?
fucking worst tow partner ever. I love him
What?
to he's one of my best friends, but he's shit. No,
Yeah.
no,
Oh, I love the honesty.
he's got better. We had a great session in on Good Friday. Like it was a big in Sydney, and he towed me into some good ways then, and I got him shit for a change, so that was good.
Rightio. Thanks for the ad break, Zoom. Back to you. It's certainly not a fucking sponsor. Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, that's right. Right. So unpack that. Yeah. What makes a shit tow partner?
Yeah, no, well, there's inexperienced tow partners, there's greedy tow partners, Tom. But then, you know,
You're just throwing him under the bus.
no, he knows, but he was really good and generous and the last surf we had. But I'm talking about, I mean, there's Tony Ray we started it together when we in '95, we got jet ski together and learned how to do it. And Tony was, he was so sensible, as opposed to me. And he was like very, he's an intelligent guy, and he's methodical in how he thinks, and um, as opposed to me, I just go and just like, but so I was probably a shit tow partner for him, because I just wanted to go fast and let's go, and he just like slow down a bit. So I wasn't the best for him, I guess. He probably told if you asked him, he'd tell me I was a shit tow partner, but
Yeah.
and then Tom was just like fucking mayhem too. He gets so greedy. Um, yeah, and then like Kelly Slater, I towed with Kelly Slater at Jaws. The best ways I've ever got in Jaws. Back in 2000, wherever it's two or
Oh, so Kelly's a good tow partner.
oh, he was, yeah, he was amazing. Like he's amazing at everything, I guess. But I didn't even know he could drive a jet ski, but he was good because, like at Jaws, people. I mean, back in the day, people were like, oh, that people would just keep driving depending on who was the driver. Like if it was Laird or something, people would just back out, or Dave Kalama, or they'd be back out. But then it was Kelly. I mean, Kelly was just going for it, like driving me. I'm like, yeah, go. I'm just sitting on the back going, wow, he's actually charging, and he got me some really good waves.
So how like for me, because I obviously I watch it on the screen, but when you're out there, so when the tow partner and they're just gunning it, so is there still I imagine absolute high risk for them, right? Because they're trying to get like as close to that breaking point, but they're trying to get it as far as front of the wave as possible.
No,
But
it's like
if they read that wrong, they see you later jet ski. Is that how it is? Or?
yeah, no, like there's I mean, there's different ways and different breaks that are harder to read. Like Shipstern's pretty hard because it's such a slab, and you got to be in and out very quickly, but not too fast or too slow. But like Jaws is like a massive playing field. I haven't towed it for so many years now, but it's you've got to get the speed, and you've got to get your surfer onto the energy of the wave. And if you do that with the same speed or added speed, he can ride this unbroken wave until he needs to surf it. And the jet ski doesn't need to be in there. Yeah, so there's a there's an art to driving a jet ski, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. How long are you holding onto the rope for? What's that period like before you let go and do your own thing completely?
So you can tell when the waves are going to break. It's going to break, and you're going to get a lot of speed that your board will carry you through till when it breaks. And it's a bummer when you don't get enough speed and you let go of the rope before. And that's usually an inexperienced tow driver that's slowed down before he needs to.
Gotcha. Right,
Yeah.
right.
And so I've been actually working with a a builder in construction, renovating bathrooms. It's so much fun. And he's been teaching me all these tricks of the trade. I've never had a trade or job in my life as opposed to surfing or films and stuff. But and I've been teaching him to tow surf and drive a jet ski, and he's got really good now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've taken him to some breaks, and he's still a bit green and gets. It's funny because I can't cut a tile straight, right? It's really fucking hard if you haven't done it. He's been doing it for 20 years, and he has a go at me, and I go, mate. When he has a go at me at the tile, I refer to him and laugh, going, when you fucking drive a jet ski, mate, you're all over the joint. And look at me. See, the thing is communication and the look. You don't even need to talk. It's about looking at each other and seeing where the surfer needs to signal to the driver going, slow down, stop,
go
or go. As fast as you can. That's like go. When you look at me, go or go over that way. And no erratic turns. People, because when you turn like that, you actually turn, and you got to keep the wheel straight or the handlebar straight.
So if you're not, obviously you're the absolute dictator there. So let's say hypothetically, let's do a case scenario. So like you're going to him, go hard, but then that wave doesn't do exactly what you want it to do, and you don't want to take it. Do you say to him, or do you just keep holding on the rope and go, nah, loop it around and let's try
I'd say, hey, fucking stop. That's why he needs to keep looking at me.
That is a bloody art, man, because like they've got to be looking also like that way to the wave, but also at you. So are they most of the time like this?
Yeah, no, we got to check. You got to peripheral vision. You got to check for there's no paddlers in the way. That's like I hope. Usually we don't tow where there's paddlers, but in case the paddlers paddle out in the sun. So you got to look at that. You got to look at the wave. The actual read the wave for a jet ski. It's different than paddling. You can read, so you can come so much deeper. You can ride more of the wave.
I'd imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I would imagine a better tower is actually a surfer who knows how to read the ocean really well.
Yes. I've had guys that think they can tow that don't surf.
See you, mate. See you later. Get back to fucking tiling.
Get back to tiling. No good. Yeah, no good.
Oh, that's good. How'd you get your nickname Dark Bones?
Dark Bones. I was talking about that the other day. It was actually from Bruce Lee. Todd Lee and Bruce Lee from the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Not the actual Bruce Lee.
Right.
His name's Bruce Lee. He's a very good surfer from Snapper Rocks.
Fortunate name to have.
Snapper Rock. Yeah, back in the 83, I was there. So I went out and I went up to school there. I left Terrigal and enrolled in Palm Beach Currumbin High School, so I could go in the Gold Coast schoolboys, right? Because I missed the Newcastle schoolboys when I missed my heat. So I'm fucking moving up there. I don't know what possessed me. That was.
Oh, no. I know what it is, Ross. No. You enjoyed these specific canes up there, mate. You've got this thing with canes. You're like, I'm moving school on upgrade the cane.
Yeah. Anyway, so I got up there. I'm enrolled in the school and won the Gold Coast schoolboys. And I beat some of his friends. I mean, I think it was Snail and Kevin Sharman and my good friend Sean Riley. We were all a bit of a group. I made friends with them. They were the local hotshot surfers up there. And Bruce Lee accused me of.
Got you into Quiksilver, didn't he?
Sean Riley did, yes.
Yeah.
But Bruce Lee accused me of not going to school because he'd seen me riding around on a motorbike, which I'd bought like $100 from Brisbane. I was riding to school with it. I didn't have a guardian, legal guardian. I was 16. Loving. I had a flat. I was trying to set.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was on fire at 16. So,
Few ladies around at that time?
oh yeah, I never talk. A gentleman never talks, but yeah, riding back on riding with some students on the back wasn't good. Wasn't a good look.
Yeah.
The headmaster called my father, which he was back in Terrigal, and he goes, "What are you doing? Where are you?" He goes, "I'm in Terrigal." He goes, "You got to have a legal. Ross has to have a legal guardian up here," and he goes, "Oh, you got to give it to him. you got to give it to him to enroll in school. He's been there. He's been a while there. No one ever knew." He goes, "Well, how did you find out?" He goes, I saw him driving away with one of our students on the back. Anyway, she was okay.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
were you quite close with your father?
yeah, what was that?
Were you quite close with your father?
Yeah, I did. No, I used to call him every day when I was on the tour, and I
Yeah.
nursed him to death the last 3 months of his life. But yeah, I learned a lot about him those last 3 months. He wasn't that angel I thought he was.
Yeah,
But
you've shared a couple of those stories. He was a doctor and he specialised in skin cancer, right?
yeah, and I never wore sunscreen, which is weird. Yeah. No, I don't know. He was one of those doctors that didn't believe in a lot of the medical, rules. Um, a lot of his theory on ADHD and stuff was well before his time. Well,
Mm,
before, like, it wasn't a thing back then. My brother had a degree of, oh, we probably all do, but um, a, a, a very it was an extreme ADHD as a kid,
mm.
and he picked up on it. And he goes, "You're a hyperactive child," but um, and I used to say, "What's wrong with this kid?" He was an older brother, but smashing furniture, that classic look. But he wasn't treated back in. No one knew how to treat him, so he used to get caned every day.
Right.
And my brother was like, he was mental. He was like, "Well," he goes, "Yeah, is that all you got?" And I was watching him getting caned. I was terrified. I was like, "What?
And he'd respond to the teacher saying, "Is that all you
Is
got?"
that all you got? Come on, give it to me. What, you're practicing your golf swing, are you?" Oh, he
Oh,
was a cheeky
wow.
fucker. He was the
Oh,
cheekiest motherfucker I knew.
holy. So
Yeah.
what was your dad's theory on ADHD back then?
He thought it was tomato sauce, like the coloring. And he sort of put it to the medical. There was a conference there. I remember he's trying to say, look, this hyperactivity in children needs to be dealt with, because they need to be taught differently in school, which they do now.
Mm,
Um, and it wasn't
mm.
recognized. It's just the kids used to get bashed, they used to get caned or in trouble because they didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's a big thing now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I've had a couple of scientists and doctors and that on the show, and they've shared their thoughts around this whole ADHD movement and how sort of amplified it has become, but yet it is just
Yeah, because it's
a
not.
part of fucking being human.
Yeah,
It's like this whole thing about
yeah,
let's diagnose ADHD because they're
yeah,
not focused in a class that they don't give a fuck about the topic. It's like no, they're
yeah,
not focused. They don't
yeah.
care.
Hyper
They
focus.
don't. They don't. I go hyper focused when I'm really into something. I think every human does. Your brain
Yeah,
starts to shut off
yeah.
if you're just generally not interested. But I really do. Look, I'm no
I,
doctor. It's
I,
like,
I'm with you. And like most of some of my friends are the geniuses that have ADHD. They're very successful.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And so your dad, so like quite an influential figure for you growing up and things like teaching you good morals and like, I guess, did he shape you into the charger out in the ocean and the man you are today?
Not really. I don't think he did. He was like, he was always methodical. I definitely wasn't. I didn't have the patience, um, like excuse the pun, the patience he had as a doctor. He was like, he had this patience that like I used to get the shits with. He used to teach me physics. He was when he used to do the schoolwork, like in the HSC, and he used to try and get like the method. And I just went, fuck it, I want the answer. Right? And he used to get the shits with me, and I used to get the shits with him. And then in the end, I get it now. Like, I,
Hey
I
Ross, is
really
that,
get it.
sorry to say, mate, but is that an ADHD thing? You're like, fuck, I don't need to know the waffle. I'm on
Yeah,
a time limit here,
I
mate.
can do. I want the
Mate,
answer. I haven't got time for this.
Nazaré's pumping and I've got to go
I've
soon.
got to
So,
go surfing, dude. Like, yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been like that.
That's
No,
so
but
funny, man.
yeah, and but he said one thing to me. He goes, mate, you're way smarter than me because you can just do it and you don't even have to study. And I was like, oh, so do I have to study? Can I go now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was his thing. He was so particular. Like he used to do, like in his last few years, he used to just never stop learning. He studied law in the end. Um, he was studying, I don't know, he did like an emergency aeroplane course. He used to go to aerobics every day when he was like 80.
Wow.
It's so amazing. I thought it was for a perv. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, I'm at the front of the class, not at
Yeah.
the back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, yeah. No, he's doing it for the body, not
Yeah.
benefiting the man. Yeah.
I went with him once because I was so unco into aerobics, but he was like up there. It was so funny.
Or
But
you, or you had that tall poppy story with an interview you had, and you were talking about stretching and how like people were like, "Well, what the fuck are you stretching for, bro?"
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You're a fucking big head, mate. You're a wanker. You can't stretch. And we're like,
yeah.
yeah, that's the Central Coast for you. But
Oh, so your dad had a good innings in by the sounds, yeah.
oh yeah, he got to 81. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah. He had a good time.
That's bloody good. Do you like I know you got kids and that, but you just not just simply witnessing maybe your kids or your grandchildren and whatnot, but just the difference of parenting in this day and age versus what went on like in your day and age. Do you go what kind of sticks out to you? You're like, sheesh, that's different parenting to what I bloody went through and all that. Do you see
Oh
a big
no,
difference
I was very
in
fortunate. My brother was a guinea pig, right? So I guess in most, when like siblings have, the older brother gets gets the worst of it, is it, older sister, because experimental parents, experimental. They tried everything with my brother, putting him in private schools and doing all that, and then he didn't really gel to the school system or anything like that. So they just gave up on me and just let me go.
Mm,
So I had a very good childhood, free. I was free and they were encouraging me to do anything I liked, um, and that's why I encourage my children as when they were young kids and like like not sort of mollycoddle them. They wanted to climb a ladder, go for it, but I'm trying here to catch you, you
mm,
know. But
mm,
you got to learn how
mm.
to. And so my daughter we're in Brazil. We're living in Brazil at the time. I had like 4 levels of concrete steps, which is so dangerous.
Mm.
But in the end, she mastered those stairs, and without, it could have been fatal, but it didn't. And my son, he's a very sensible. He's more like my father in that respect. He was a very good student, and now he's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's mastering that, um,
Wow.
teaching, competing, and actually living in New York. And
Wow.
yeah, so he came to live with me for the last 2 years um, of his schooling, like the HSC or VCE or whatever it was, in Victoria.
How old is he, sorry?
Cannon's he's turning 29 this in a month.
Good stuff. Nice.
Yeah. So he came down and and that's when he started jiu-jitsu, and he was catching the bus on. He couldn't cook a piece of toast when he came down to me. I'm going, mate, you got to learn how to get some, be independent, which he did, and he did such a good job. He was catching the bus every day to Geelong, coming back at 9 o'clock at night. I'm going, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? He goes, look, I go to
Yeah,
school. I go to
he'll show you what you do. He's like,
yeah.
yeah, come here. I'll show you the rear naked choke, which can pass you out. This is what I've been doing.
That's funny because I used to put him in the armbar when he was a kid, just
Yeah.
joking around, like just wrestling, Anyway, he's like, oh, I'm going to school, all day. I wait for the jiu-jitsu class to start at 7 p.m. and I'm studying with the teachers at school. I go, fuck, okay, that sounds good. And I said, you're not here to do jiu-jitsu, you're here to, get an education. He goes, okay, well, let's see the results and then say something. And I was like, fuck, fair enough. So he'd almost choked me out for a start. And he got 92 out of 100 for his final exam. I go, man, I'll shut up. And then he's like, okay,
So is he worse? Sorry to interrupt you. Is he actually embracing working in the BJJ community, or is he?
yes, yeah, he's
Oh, oh, right.
teaching, competing, and yeah, mentoring in New York, a New York Academy.
Well, he'll be stoked with the latest news. Old Dana White UFC. They've just started the BJJ for under UFC brand.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
No,
He'll be
I
he'll be
didn't know
pretty
that. Oh,
he'll be pretty he'll be
yeah,
pumped on that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Oh, that's a good thing. He might have been, wow. Ronnie's,
Good. Yeah. No,
yeah,
well, Dana's got his fingers in all sorts of pies. Anyways, hey, look, let's track back a little bit, Ross, to I guess sort of some influential figures for you back then. I mean, you bumped around with like Mark Fu, Bradshaw, Rabbit Bartholomew, Gary Kong, and all that. Like, how do you think they sort of just shaped, I guess, who you were? Was it sort of more of the commercial relationships that they helped you out with, or you looked up to them and they made you charge harder, or like
yeah,
how did
I
how
looked
they shape your career?
I looked at all these figures or stars, surf stars that I knew from a kid, and I looked at them individually. I mean, I saw Gary Elkington when he first came with this energy. I'm going, fuck, this is cool. I want to sort of like this powerful figure, and he's cool, and that that was a big influence on me. And then I met Rabbit Bartholomew, and he was a bit David Bowie for me. It's like he was a bit like that, but it was the energy. It was so magnetic. Then I saw Tom Carroll. He was a fucking little shit. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be like him. He's a prick. But then he became one of my best friends of all time. Which
Was Shane Dorian nice bloke?
Shane Dorian, I didn't have much to do. He was kind of in the Kelly club, the Kelly clan. It was like Shane Dorian, Ross Williams, and there was Rob Machado. They were a group of talented, really good surfers. There was like 8 of them. I can't remember all the names, but yeah, Shane came in on tour after, and I was like, who's this little shit? And he's a really good surfer, and he beat me in South Africa. And I go, oh no. So yeah, I've never had a problem with him, but I've always admired his surfing and in big ways. And when he went to Jaws paddle surfing, and yeah, I think Shane Dorian, without being a world champion, was probably one of the most complete surfers of all time. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
like he can compete, he can do airs, he can do ride small waves.
He can act too.
I don't know how he can act. Yeah, he can. I mean, he does it all. He's got a beautiful family, and yeah, Shane's done really well for himself.
Yeah, that's nice. Hey, you were lucky, Ross, to surf all these amazing waves before they got crowded. What place and era would you revisit if you could?
Oh yeah, no, they just recently made a documentary on Morocco.
I saw that. Yeah,
I saw
yep.
that, and I got the fucking blame for blowing that place up, which is not fair. Because I mean, I only wrote it once, and the guys invited me, and then they saw photos, and then I don't know, someone's a comment that goes, "Oh, Ross blew the place out." I went, "What?" I mean, oh
That's
yeah,
that's where old mate had his real bad injury. Hey, that doco was pretty gnarly. Oh, sorry, what was his name?
Billy Kemper. Billy
Yeah.
Kemper had a really bad injury there. I don't know what happened, but he got slammed. But yeah, that was one place. I mean, that's what I miss, the adventure of back then, back in those days at discovering, and especially with toe surfing, even the last 10 years, we can more 20 years, I guess, discovering these breaks. Like the adventure side, you can get out in the ocean, there's no one else can get out there. But with the forecasting, the internet, it's all changed. Everyone knows what's going to happen.
Do,
But
do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. I mean, it's actually a good thing, for everybody, but it's a bad thing for people who wanted to read the actual synoptic charts, and like Morris Cole used to the 4-day forecast. He was really good at it. And places down in Victoria, we still actually we're lucky enough to surf by ourselves. I've been surfing out the front here by myself for the last few days. It's been perfect. It's only small, but a crowd here is about 15 people, which is nothing.
That's good, eh? Is Phillip Island, is it renowned? Is it quite sharky or not so much?
Well, apparently it's the biggest shark in the world. They found out. Yeah, but there haven't been any shark attacks here. It's called big white or something. I don't know.
Oh,
It's where the penguins or the seal rocks are.
yeah, right.
Yeah, there's been no shark attacks here since, I don't know, since I've been here anyway.
That's good, eh? Ross, is there any location that's still like surf spot that gives you butterflies? Like what makes certain breaks more mentally challenging than others? Is there a break you go to that you'd like, oh shit, like this?
Yeah, no, probably pipeline. I don't surf pipeline. I mean, I haven't pipeline since I got a jet ski, like a couple of decades now. But I mean, pipelines was just too crowded and too. I don't know. The energy there was too much. When I last surfed it, I dropped in on a guy. I didn't even know he was there, and they wanted to fight me. I'm going, fuck, really? And then yeah, and then
Johnny Boy Gomes.
that was another guy, but Johnny Boy, yeah. But when I almost broke my back, well, yeah, I did break my back, and yeah, that was another one. But yeah, I just the pipeline the crowds. I just can't see how anyone gets right away or anything now. Like it's amazing. Um, you know,
You mentioned. Oh, sorry to keep going. Sorry, mate.
no, it's the core guys that seem to keep getting all the ways. Mason Ho and Johnny, Jamie O'Brien, and Clark Grace, and all these guys that and Billy Kemper. It seems like the same guys that keep getting all the waves. Why even bother to be out there? I
Do you
mean,
think that, do you think the culture is turning like has it always been like that? Do you think people out there in the ocean they're just like, oh, well, these are the high profile goats, I'll let them go, and
yeah, I don't know
there's no
how it works
competition
now.
with them.
I don't even, yeah, there's hundreds of people out there. I don't even know how they get waves, but they seem to be getting away. Or people go, yeah, I got 2 waves in like 6 hours. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. I couldn't do that. No, but it was different back then when I used to surf it, with Johnny Boy and Dane Kirlower and the core black short guys, like Mickey Nielsen. I used to like to be friends with all those guys. I used to hang with them, right? So I was sort of talking to them, and like, I wouldn't never drop in on them or never take waves, but if I could get called in from them, I'm like, this is my wave, bro. And then the other guys had to wait. And it was kind of cool. I really enjoyed
Geez,
surfing.
how about that Morocco doco about how many people were just blatantly dropping in on each other, and same with the boogers too. Like it's just seems like,
The
to be fair,
Morocco doco.
there's
Morocco
so,
doco.
there's so many sections of that wave, so everyone's like, "Oh, he's not making that section, I'm going." But when they do make the section, it's like they're still dropping in on each other.
Apparently they're brutal. Like the boogers are brutal back there. They're like, this is our wave.
Yeah,
And they don't give a shit unless it's Ramsey or something, or Otto or I
yeah.
don't know. Like I don't know. I wouldn't like my chances going back there now. They'll probably fucking beat me up. I don't know. I'd
When
like
was
to
your
go.
last? When was your last big tow and Ross? Like how recently?
It was last Friday.
Oh, whereabouts?
I can't tell you. It was just me and another guy. I was the guy I taught to play surf. Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a
yeah. Oh, that's good that you sounds like you found a secret spot. Nice.
yeah, 2 Fridays ago, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
good start. How big we talking?
Oh, 15 feet, like proper 15, like 12 to 15, and growing. It starts off about 10 feet and then just grows down the line. And yeah, it's like 12 to 15 feet, but like proper, like a
What's
mini,
that? What's that way? And I mean, we can talk about it because everyone
it's like
knows
a
about it.
mini
What's
jaw.
that? Oh, mini jaws. Jesus.
Yeah.
What's that wave over in WA that Jack Robinson's renowned to surf? And it's a bit of a hike to get there, but when it's on, it's absolutely on. What's it called?
Not the right. No.
That's
The,
the right. Yeah,
the right
yeah,
you have to take. You can't. I think they've tried to paddle it. You can't paddle it.
yeah. What's it? What? Yeah. Okay.
It's
Crazy.
called the right. Very imaginative. But the WA guys are like, yeah, it's
Hey,
right. It is the right.
did they get the advertising executive from Saatchi to come up with that name? I mean, they've really thought out the fucking box there, haven't they?
The right. I mean, it's brilliant because it's like just do it, Nike. Like
Yeah. Actually, in all fairness, there's a trend emerging here because the Bra Boys, when they got to that break and they were like, you know what? This is ours. This
yeah,
is our wave. Let's call it ours.
it's brilliant, and that's stuck too. It's like Cape Solander and all this other shit, but ours is the one that stuck with Kobe and Mark and it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Booger Wave Shark Island still going and throwing? Like, is it still?
Apparently, yeah. I've never surfed it, always wanted to, but nah, it's still going and throwing and bookers
Yeah.
there, surfers there. I don't know. I don't think they towed it. They just, yeah, they're still surfing.
Yeah.
That was the wave.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And
Yeah.
have you ever been? Have you ever
Right.
been? Yeah, the
Yeah.
have you ever been in the water with Ryan Hardy?
With who?
Ryan Hardy, the famous booger.
Oh no, I
Oh,
haven't.
right. Yeah.
Is he
Probably a
from?
good.
Is he from New
Probably
Zealand?
probably a good thing. No, no, no. He's Australian. He's Australian. He's probably
You
like,
know, one of the maddest fucks I know is from New Zealand. Is Dougie Young.
oh, Dougie Young. Oh, yeah.
Dougie Young. He was actually a good tow partner. We had some good experiences in New Zealand and stuff over the years.
Oh, well, you filmed that. You were down at Papatowai, eh?
Yeah, Papas and I don't know. He took me to this wave. I don't know where it was. It was apparently a secret. There's electric fences everywhere. I kept grabbing them. Going, what the fuck? Why am I? It's like cows and I don't know.
Do,
But
do you do you Aussies not get electric fences over there?
oh, I just kept doing it. Doug sucked me into it. He goes, "Yeah, check this out." And he did. I go, what do you mean? And Doug was holding on to it. You go, what do you mean? What's wrong? And went, oh fuck. I wasn't used to
Actually, there's a trend emerging here. It's just like you with the cane. You're like, oh, can you go harder? Give it a bit harder.
it. I saw Dougie in the last Eddie with his beautiful wife and kids and stuff, and he'd settled down a bit for sure.
Actually, mate, we can't do this interview without talking about the Eddie. Your first time was 1987, and correct me if I'm wrong, you did take, what, 7 years to get the W?
No, it took 14 or something.
Oh, four. Oh, gee, never let
14.
the truth get in the way of a good yarn.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, it took 14 years to get the, oh, even more, I don't know. 87, I got fifth, seventh, my first one.
Yeah, yeah.
So foolishly went to Vegas before it. And I thought, like there was no internet back then. And everyone's like, oh, there's the Eddie. I go, oh, fuck, it's not going to happen, because it was only 4-day forecast.
Oh, yeah, and then you saw it in the newspaper and you just went straight to the airport.
I saw it fucking tripping balls off on the news at 4 a.m. in Vegas, looking at it going, this lady came on, and there's a segment in the film, The Sixth Element. There's a biography of it was a comedic thing, but it was actually real. This chick came on and said, there's the Eddie Aikau is going to be on tomorrow. And it's going to be the biggest ever. And I'm just going, oh, fuck. But then I was imagining it says, and you, Ross Clarke-Jones, if you're out there, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing, mate? And I was like, what? And then went straight to the airport, left my wife and a Brazilian friend from Quiksilver. Like I wrote a note and just put it on the door and just ran to the airport,
I'll see you soon.
I'll be back. Just going back to the Eddie. Yeah.
That's funny, but you mentioned, Ross, like that you said in an article like that you felt that, so like being accepted by the Hawaiian surf community and all of that actually meant more than sort of winning all these contests and that.
Oh yeah, no, that was
What do you put that down to? Was that just the clicky surfing Hawaiian culture that they were very shadow boxed to get into? So once you got approved, yeah, well, how did that mean more than a title to you?
Oh, it's stamp of approval from Hawaiians meant more to me than anything. That's like, it's not the ticket to be disrespectful or anything, but you get this certain, as a foreigner or as a haole, coming into their island. And if you get in with these guys, they're just such a beautiful, beautiful people, and they care about you. And I've always had that thing with Hawaii and the people. Mickey Nelson and Marvin Foster took me in from Quiksilver, but, that first, when they saw I was kind of one of them, like in a sense, he's ride big waves and humble and trying to, no bullshit. And he was, Mickey Nelson has been a dear friend since then. And, Eddie Rothman, they all looked after me. Like
what do you think is so territorial there? Is it the brand reputation of Hawaii is the surf mecca of the world, or is it just more so literally their cultural aspect of this is just our island and we don't like anyone else?
I think it's both. They don't like cocky fuckwits coming to their island, and fair enough. No one does. Whether it's here, Australia, or Brazil, everyone's the same. It's a human nature thing that the Hawaiians are really good at it. Like, what they brought it out going, what, brah? You come to here and come to Hawaii, give us respect. And if you do give you the respect, you have a great time, and people that, don't disrespect their ways and their etiquette.
They get a pretty decent hiding.
They get pounded back. And they're unwelcome and they get ostracized and get off my island, rat,
And at that point, Ross, they need your son next to them, black belt PJJ, to try to
yeah.
We're like, right, defense mechanism. Come in.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I mean, over the last 40 years now, for sure.
I mean, they used to be flogging dudes on the side of the bloody shoreline, being like, right, come in, scraps, or even start in the water,
yeah,
drag them to the bloody shore. Like all those videos I've seen that are just
I
gnarly.
know, it's horrific. That's when I stopped surfing pipeline, actually. I was like, this is horrible. When I
This
saw,
is this is like a boxing ring.
yeah, yeah, that was a whole another era. And then we had jet skis where like me and Tony were out the back and no one hit round. So that was we went the jet ski came in at a good time for us. Yeah.
Look, I'm mindful for time, so we will. I'll just got a couple more questions if you don't mind for you. But I mean, if you would, because we've talked a lot about the surf community, which is
Like
bloody.
no, about the Eddie, right? The Eddie's been really that's been a part of my life and hopefully till the end, you know. I still feel so comfortable at Waimea Bay and look, I was the youngest competitor in the event in '87. Now I'm the oldest. If I get an invite again, which I should, or hopefully do, but yeah. So that Eddie, it's more than it's like a title. You get a title as it's a respect thing that world titles don't even bring. I don't think, you know, like world titles, like people remember 1980 world champion. Who knows? You know, it doesn't matter. Who can remember? But I mean, you know, about competitors, the real service, you know, respect the world champions, but as a title and an Eddie Aikau champion through the whole, you know, there's been 10 champions in the last 40 years. It's a respect thing that I think it's, you know, of course I love the world championship, but I was never going to be a world champion, but I've an Eddie Aikau champion, which means more to me than.
Slater's never got one, eh? No.
Yeah, Slater won the one he won
Does he have an Eddie?
after me.
I didn't know
He's
he
got
had an
everything.
Eddie. Damn, I was trying to find one thing that he hasn't got. I thought,
Yeah, no, he actually he won the world. He won the fucking Eddie Aikau 2002 after me.
oh,
The
right.
one that they called Tony Ray as the winner. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, I felt so sorry for Tony. Like,
Oh, shit. That's right. I saw that. And they fucked up the points and all that. Right.
fucked up the points. They added a wrong, and they were
Oh,
interviewing Tony. Tony's already spent the money in his. He goes, Ross, I won. I went, are you fucking sure? I said, mate, you've got to be sure because I don't trust them.
yeah.
Like the judges, you know, everything.
You win 50 grand, eh? Is it 50?
It was 50 grand, yeah, 50 US back then,
Oh, wow.
and then yeah, he was like doing interviews. I go, fuck, you sure? I don't know why I said that.
50 US back then would have that been about 120 Aussie?
Oh, at least. You know,
Yeah, or maybe 3x.
oh yeah, 300 grand. I don't know. It felt like that. And anyway,
You spent yours in 2 weeks.
I'd spent mine in Vegas in the night. Really. No, but listen, we were going, I got fifth that year. The next year I got fifth. First year I won this 2001, the second 2002, I was getting fifth. So we're gonna go up on the podium. And we were all about to set. Tony's all fucking smiles and fucking and Kelly's like all concerned and looking at me going, he wasn't convinced. I'm going, what's up? And he goes, Ross, check these points. Have they used my best wave or not? And I was like, no. And he goes, does that mean I win? I went, yep. And then Tony looked at me going, what? I'm going, fuck, dude. I felt sick for you. I felt sick for him. I felt so bad for him.
Oh.
I felt,
Who ultimately fucked that up? Obviously the judges, but like, yeah, was there
whoever tallied the score up, that's who fucked it up. Whoever tallied it, like Kelly won on on the points, right? But whoever tallied to score up, I don't know they fucked it up. It was so brutal. I mean, I'm laughing now, but I felt sick for him. I felt so
Oh
sad.
yeah. And so
And
once they realised that they literally just do a classic redraw and be like, oh, sorry,
no,
actually,
but they didn't say because they hadn't announced the winner yet. So
oh,
like they actually they interviewing Tony like
oh,
like the
right.
press, but without the official result. So Tony went up. It was so sad. I was fucking crying for him. And Kelly was like, fuck yeah, he won. I'm like, no one ever knew that. Like no one ever knew that. Yeah, it was so brutal for Tony. But
Yeah,
Tony's doing well now. I just got a message from Tony. He's in Peru somewhere. He's flying. He doesn't care anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, right, man. That's crazy, eh? Hey, look, if you were to, it's funny, yeah, when we're in this kind of chat, and then I'm like, anyway, back to the stock standard journalistic questions that I'm like,
Yeah,
that are pre-written and researched. But sometimes, look, I like to run an organic interview, but
yeah, you do
there's
it. Do it.
there's some good nudges in here though. If you were to give advice to someone facing their own version of a big wave in life, whether that's a career change, relationship, personal challenge, what would you tell them?
Just be real about it. If you don't want to do it, fucking don't do it. If you feel the need, you want to do it, you have to overcome it, fucking do it. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. Or you're too old, you're too fat, you're too ugly, or too whatever. Or you're too short, you're too tall. Some people, I don't know.
Well, mate, let's if we're going to talk that
Don't
binary
let,
black and
don't
white,
let,
it's going
let
to be a
anyone.
little harder. It's going to be a little harder to get into Hollywood if you're fucking not pretty.
Well,
And
fuck.
it's going to be a little harder
Hey,
to run the
hey,
best race in your life if you're fat. Like, if they
hey,
go to you, look, Johnny boy, I got to let you know, look, you're not going to be an Olympian because he's the size of a 2-ton truck. You need to be realistic, don't you? Fuck.
well, you get there's a niche for everyone. Just recently, I've been cast in a movie,
Have you?
in a horror movie.
Oh, that
Yes.
that that does my yeah. That actually checks out, Ross.
Fuck it. I'm going. I'm gonna have a go. So yeah, it was just
Oh, how cool,
the manager's negotiating a contract, and yeah, I can't wait.
mate. That's awesome.
I hope I
That's
can. Yeah, I hope it comes to fruition. But yeah, it sounds like it's happening.
that's cool, man.
Yeah,
An Australian producer.
Australian producer with the American writer and director. So
Oh,
yeah, and it actually could be. I mean, I can't say too much, but it could be filmed on the Central Coast where I started.
oh, how good.
Yeah,
That's so good,
I,
eh?
I hope it comes. I hope it comes off. I really do.
There's so many transferable skills with I guess what sort of everyone does, between like athletes and then in the world of business. I mean, you being a massive, big wave surfer, like for example, like athletes develop a range of transferable skills through sports that are like very valuable in the business world, like teamwork and leadership and time management, rah rah rah. Oh,
So
and especially performing under pressure. Like, what advantage in business would a big wave surfer like you have, do you think?
here's a perfect example. Aidan Clark from Two Times You. He was he was it was a brand. He's a Kiwi actually. He's in New Zealand.
Oh,
Uh,
poor
yeah. Well, he's very well out of Two Times You, that athletic brand, and he's got a brand called Saint now, a motorbike wear.
Oh, nice.
And he came to me and goes, Ross, I want to do a brand with you, and I want to base it around you as the face. Come up with a name, come up with a logo. So I want to center it around you, your energy, and all that. Anyway, I came up with all this stuff and all these list of names. He goes, Born Maniac. That's the one. So
Yeah,
he centered it around me as a logo and stuff, and
cool.
doing so he's doing apparel and wetsuits and he's got all the expertise of marketing and developing a brand. Um,
Nice.
and I'm the surfer and I'm I can help
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Is he doing across the board? So every extreme sport.
yeah. Like Born Maniac can be everything. I'm just the first face of it, like the surfer. But
Gotcha.
yeah, the essence of the brand is like everyone's got a fucking maniac inside them. Whether it's a librarian, loves to read books, you know what I mean? Or it's a rock climber.
Absolutely loves the Dewey Decimal System. They're just a maniac around it.
Even
Wow.
an accountant loves the fucking numbers, you know what I mean? A number maniac. But that's the thing is like pushing the boundaries and people having a go, and just admit it that you're
Yeah.
a maniac.
Yeah, that's bloody good chat, hey. And when we're using the word maniac, we're really talking about an absolute fixation and an obsession towards something, eh?
Yes, exactly. Not like a serial killer. No, you know, like, but
Oh,
maniac.
hang on a minute, Ross. Hang on a minute. That's why you got casted for the film. Let's not take that out of the
Yeah,
thing. No, you got that gig because of the term maniac. That's yeah. Anyway,
maybe.
oh, but you're right. You're right though because actually you're see it's like horses for courses. Like you're more scared of a cat than you are of a 80-foot wave, right?
Yeah, I would not look a cat in the eye close up. I mean, they
Yeah.
fucking scares me. There's something wrong with cats. There's
Yeah.
something wrong. I don't know. It's something. My mother was born of this in the city of cats. It's Kuching in Borneo. God knows why, but I fucking don't like cats.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Nice.
hurt a cat. I mean, I did hurt my very first cat. I didn't mean to, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't hurt an animal. But cats, there's something wrong with cats. I got a dog
Yeah.
like a Groodle, like this fucking thing. It's in there. Like he's a fucking, you think I'd had a Rottweiler or a fucking something like that. Best dog. He's the best dog.
Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Were you close with your mother growing up?
Yeah, my mother was, yeah, she was an angel. She only lived till 69, unfortunately. But
Oh shit.
yeah, she wouldn't hurt a soul. She was, yeah. Yeah, I did. And I went back to Borneo. I mean, I went to Borneo for the first time about 10 years ago, and it was pretty amazing. And
Mm.
like the headhunters, that whole longhouse, the Dayak tribe, and I felt like I sat in this longhouse with a basket of heads above me, and I felt right at home. So there was an energy there. I'm like, wow, I could do this.
Wow.
Just shrink heads and anything. Yeah,
Yeah, the headhunters, eh?
yeah,
That's nuts. Look, we'll leave on this note. Really, I think it's important because I know mental health's close to your heart and it's close to us New Zealanders too. We do have the second highest youth suicide rate in the OECD, sadly. I think a lot of contributing factors are around tall poppy syndrome, and Australians can relate to that with New Zealanders as well.
yeah.
What, Ross, what's your advice? Like, I mean, and you've talked about, that mental health period that you went through after Survivor and not being able to serve. What would your advice be to not just the youth, but to literally anyone struggling with their mental health? Like, what's worked for you during your lowest of lows?
First, get off the internet and scrolling all these bullies online. That'd be probably the worst thing for a child or a young kid. Secondly, you don't isolate yourself completely. So you need to surround yourself with good, positive people. Get rid of all these negative fuckwits that put you down or have a go, or it's an energy. Just get away from them. And it's every time you see them, they're like nitpicking something on you, or you got to get rid of those.
Get rid of the parasites, yeah.
Get rid of these like they're fucking leeches, they're actually trying to make themselves feel better out of being nasty to you. And that's the thing. I mean, don't go to smoking or drinking, or like stay off the drugs. People tend to drink a lot, and it's the worst thing you can ever do.
Have
drinking.
you ever been a big drinker, Ross?
I've never been a big drinker at all. I mean, my mother didn't drink at all. My brother was kind of an alcoholic, and my father liked to drink, but yeah, I just never stomached it. I couldn't stomach the alcohol. I don't know. It's like an Asian flush thing. I don't know. Well,
Mm.
Borneo, I guess. But I mean, of course, I've tried to drink, but it just makes me sick anyway. But um, yeah, I think exercise is probably the best thing, and the ocean. Go in the ocean every
Mm.
day. Just
Mm.
the positive. I'm not that spiritual, but like I'm more scientific. The positive ions in the salt water does something to your happiness for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that, 100%.
And
Uh,
the
uh,
endorphins from exercise, it has to help,
mm,
Um,
mm.
just run or do
But
something.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right, man. That those ions in the water are, like yeah, and not necessarily having to either jump on a surfboard or jump on a bodyboard.
Ah,
Like, literally just fucking getting in the ocean, as simple as that, and then you notice your whole psychology just go, whoa,
yeah.
and that's definitely got something to do with those ions, man.
Can bring you back from anything, like like a bad breakup in a relationship or to a bad hangover, or like I've never had one, but you know what I mean? Like a really when you're feeling shit, yeah, or when you're feeling too tired, haven't had a good sleep or something. I don't know. It's just something about the ocean. That's why I can never live too far away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
How,
most
how
of
far
all,
are you
most
got? How far are you from Bell's Beach, from Phillip Island? Is that quite a drive? How far to Bell's?
bells from here it takes 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours. It's 2.5 hours when I leave at midnight. You know,
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
so there's no traffic. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Hashtag born mania. Yeah, actually, best time to drive. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but most of all, there's to, to everyone, all the kids, it's life is such a short thing, and it's a gift, to be alive and experience everything that the world has in it, the love and all these things that people that they just I've lost some friends to suicide, and it's just such a shame, the people you leave behind, and it's like, man, it's so quick anyway. Why would you end it? Life's a gift. Don't fuck it up.
Do you think suicide's selfish?
When they say it's selfish or a coward, I mean, I don't know. I think it's fucking brave to take your own life. I couldn't do it myself. I mean, I mean, to take courage to kill yourself it's fucking horrible. It's just horrible to all the people around you. If you especially have kids, I can't imagine the damage it does to them.
Mm,
Uh, and the damage it do to your parents as
mm.
kids. Yeah, it's I don't know, selfish, but I understand why people must do it because they're in so much pain. There's no other way. And I had a family member that committed suicide. Um, this person stabbed this person itself in the neck in front of her parents and her kids, and that was brutal. I understand though, but she must have been in so much pain. There's no drugs or therapy that could help her. Um, but it must be bad to get that way. Um,
Yeah, that's
so
heavy.
yeah, it's so heavy. I'll leave it on that note. It's fucking heavy, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'm
around.
sitting with that one. Look, I've had friends that have done it. I've witnessed it too. A friend many moons ago, I saw. Well, he was at a party and he hung himself, and we all witnessed it.
Oh God, yeah, I couldn't. Yeah,
It's
yeah. I'd like just
crazy, man. Yeah, I agree with you, man. When you say like see
like
this is the thing, we all have our own opinion on something, and that's all well and good. But we sometimes we can never understand someone else's pain that
yeah. That's
they're in, and so when Like yeah, it's all relative, eh? Like my pain to your pain, different, 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 but the severity, like they must literally sit there and go, I don't want to actually be in this planet anymore. Like,
Yeah.
so see you later.
It's like fuck. Like I can imagine. Everyone's been wigged out, depressed or something, and upset, or but you can't sleep, you can't do anything. I can imagine these people going through it. There's no way out unless you just sleep or dead, or kill yourself. But it's just fucking horrible.
Well, people talk about, yeah, that's a good point. And people talk about the monkey chatter brain, right? That's like, and I've got that because I'm type A personality.
what's
But
it?
and
Like,
there is, have you heard about
monkey-
that? The monkey chatter brain. Yeah, the one. Well, it can be self-loathing, and the one that when you are in that depressed state, it just doesn't shut the fuck up.
yeah.
And so I can imagine with people going through extreme levels of mental health. I mean, I've had anxiety and panic attacks and periods of depression, but I've never got to that point where I'm like, I can't turn you off. I just go into surrender mode and go, this time will pass.
Hmm.
But I can imagine for some people, they can't turn it off. So therefore, they then turn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad but true. And I don't know whether it's just humans. I don't know the animals. Do any other animals commit suicide? Fucking ants do. I don't know. Do any other animals commit suicide? There's a question for David Attenborough.
So we should laugh, but I've enjoyed everything in this interview. But you've just topped it there. You've absolutely topped it. Now you're
What did
talking
you tell
about
me?
ants. That's a look. I know who would have the answer to that, Ross. That's
Fucking
Dave.
a seal. A seal.
No, no, David.
I'm gonna
David.
I'm gonna go into these sharks. You know, I don't know.
David Attenborough would have answers to that. That's it, buddy. I'm going to research that. Yeah.
Google that. Do
Do
any other
animals,
animals besides human commit suicide?
I'm going to just do it right now. Hang on. Well, I got you. Hold the line, caller. Do, do animals,
Don't laugh.
sorry. Okay. Look, guys, this is just an interesting about it. While it has not been proven that non-human animals do or even can die, but many animals behave in ways that may seem suicidal. There are anecdotes of animals refusing to eat in periods of grief or stress. Some
Oh,
social insects have been known to defend their colony by sacrificing themselves, i.e., suicide. So,
bees.
yeah,
Bees.
yeah, bees would, yeah. Well, don't
Bees
they need
do it. Bees
to?
do it for the fucking queen bee. I think.
Yeah, well, don't they need to?
If
Yeah,
they
don't they?
fucking sting you, they die. But
Correct.
do they
That's
know that? Do they know?
I'm glad. I'm glad we've ended on a more of a
Happy
happy
note.
note,
You
though.
have to. I mean, you have to. You got to look at. I mean, life's fucking too short. It's fucking to be experienced in a good way and to be happy. The pursuit of happiness, I think, is
100%, man. I'm
fucking
loving.
gotta
I'm loving
laugh.
this. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Oh,
As cliche as it is, laughter is medicine.
mm.
Like I've laughed all throughout this interview, and I feel like pumped up. I like your energy. I'm really.
Yeah,
See, this is like good for our mental health, right?
yeah, it is. Fucking oath, it is.
I mean, fuck. I'll tell you what, Ross. I'll be honest, mate. I have interviewed some absolute dry humans, mate, and that can do the opposite too. It's like I'm sitting there going, I'm going through pain right now. I want to get out of here. Like,
I want to end it.
yeah, yeah, pretty much, yeah,
The
100%.
interview.
See,
Luke, the interview. Okay. Oh shit.
Hey, Ross, hey, thank you so much for your time and all sincerity, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate your insights and knowledge, and thank you so much for coming on the Luke Farr Show to motivate, educate, and inspire our next generation of leaders. And you've certainly done that, mate, whether or not it's talking about ant suicide or what you do in the water, but you're an absolute legend, so thank you very much.
Cheers, Luke. Thanks, buddy.
That's awesome. I'll just hit
Bye.
stop record, brother. Hang on.
I love New Zealand.